The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as the human delegation entered. Ambassador Amelie walked with measured steps, her small frame dwarfed by the towering Kralix warriors and the crystalline Vex diplomats. At only 19 Earth years old, she was considered barely more than a child by galactic standards, where most species didn't reach maturity until their 5th decade. The humans send us a youngling? High Chancellor Zixthor clicked his mandibles in what passed for laughter among his kind. Perhaps they finally understand their place in the cosmic hierarchy. Beside Amelie, her security officer Maverick tensed, his hand moving instinctively toward his weapon. She touched his arm lightly and he relaxed. The gesture didn't go unnoticed by the assembled aliens. Interesting, murmured diplomatic observer Kelshaw from the Torvan Collective. The child commands and the warrior obeys. The meeting proceeded as expected. The Kralix Dominion had laid claim to the Kepler 442 system, which humanity had been terraforming for 3 generations. The Council, dominated by species who measured their empires in millennia, saw no reason to side with the upstart humans who'd only achieved faster-than-light travel 2 centuries prior. Your species lacks the strength to hold such valuable territory, Zixthor declared. The Kralix require those resources for our expansion. Surely you understand that evolution favors the strong. Amelie smiled, and something in that expression made several council members shift uncomfortably. Evolution on Earth has taught us many things, Chancellor. Strength comes in unexpected forms. She gestured to Maverick, who opened a containment case. Inside, a creature roughly the size of a small earth dog stirred. It had black fur with white stripes, stocky limbs, and eyes that held an unsettling intelligence. Is that supposed to intimidate us? Zixthor's laugh echoed through the chamber. A tiny mammal? I've seen your Earth documentaries. That's one of your planet's smaller predators. This, Amelie said calmly, is a honey badger, Mellivora capensis. Where I come from, we have a saying, honey badger don't care. The Vex delegation's crystalline structures chimed with curiosity. Explain this phrase, human child. Amelie's eyes never left Zixthor. This animal weighs perhaps 14 kilograms. On Earth, it has been documented fighting off lions, surviving venomous snake bites that would kill creatures 10 times its size, and raiding beehives despite being stung thousands of times. It has skin so thick and loose that it can twist around inside its own body when grabbed by predators. It doesn't recognize the concept of retreat. She paused, letting her words sink in. When humanity was developing on Earth, we weren't the strongest. We weren't the fastest. We didn't have natural weapons or armor. Do you know what we had, Chancellor? Zixthor's mandibles twitched with irritation. Enlighten us, child. We had the same thing this creature has, absolute refusal to accept that we're prey. We learned from every animal on our world, including this one. We learned that size doesn't matter, that venom can be endured, that any enemy can be defeated if you're willing to pay the price. Maverick stepped forward, his voice carrying the weight of military experience. Humanity spent 10,000 years on a death world fighting creatures that could kill us with a single bite, competing with predators faster and stronger than us. We didn't survive by being helpless. We survived by being too stubborn to die and too clever to fight fair. The honey badger, as if understanding its role in the demonstration, released a low, aggressive growl that seemed far too large for its body. Several council members actually recoiled. Amelie continued, her voice soft but carrying clearly through the chamber. You think we're weak because we're young, because we're small, because we send children to negotiate. She made air quotes with her fingers, a gesture lost on most of the aliens but somehow conveying her mockery perfectly. The Kralix have 40 times our population. Your warriors are each 3 times the size of our soldiers. Your ships outnumber ours 20 to 1. She leaned forward slightly. And yet we're standing here, calmly telling you that if you enter the Kepler 442 system, we will go to war. And we will win. Preposterous. Zixthor rose to his full 3-meter height. Your arrogance is based on calculation, not emotion, Maverick interrupted. Your species evolved on a low-gravity world with abundant resources. You've never had to fight for survival. You've never had to innovate under pressure. You expanded into space by overwhelming primitive species with numbers. Amelie nodded. We've studied every conflict in the Kralix Dominion's history. You've never faced an enemy that refused to surrender. You've never fought a species that treats war as problem-solving instead of dominance display. She gestured to the honey badger. This animal doesn't know it should be afraid of lions. It doesn't care about the odds. It simply fights until it wins or dies, and more often than not, the lion walks away. She locked eyes with Zixthor. Humanity is the same, but with the added benefit of strategic thinking, technological innovation, and a very, very long memory for grudges. The chamber remained silent for a long moment. Finally, Observer Kelsha spoke. You would truly go to war over one system? Risk everything? Yes, Amelie said simply. Because if we don't, you'll take another system. And another, until we're extinct or enslaved. That's unacceptable. She smiled again, that unsettling expression that made her look far older than her years. Besides, we've already distributed the schematics for our new weapon systems to every minor species in the galaxy. The ones you've been bullying for centuries. If this becomes a war, it won't just be humanity you're fighting. Zixthor's carapace flushed with anger, but uncertainty crept into his voice. The Council will avoid a galactic war, Amelie interrupted. Because unlike the Kralix, the other species here understand cost-benefit analysis. They've seen our combat footage from the colonial rebellions. They know what humans do to each other when we fight. They're terrified of what we'll do to aliens we don't even like. She closed the containment case and the honey badger's growling stopped. So here's our proposal, Chancellor. The Kralix Dominion withdraws its claim to Kepler 442. In exchange, humanity will share our terraforming technology with any species that wants it, including the Kralix. Everyone wins, and if we refuse? Zixthor asked, though his aggressive posture had softened. Maverick's smile matched Amelie's. Then, you'll learn the same lesson every predator on Earth eventually learned. The most dangerous thing in the universe isn't the biggest or the strongest. It's the one that refuses to stay down. 3 days later, the Kralix Dominion officially withdrew its claim. The Galactic Council ratified humanity's sovereignty over the Kepler 442 system by unanimous vote. As they departed, Observer Kelsha approached Amelie privately. Tell me, Ambassador, would you truly have gone to war? Amelie looked at the alien diplomat with those old, calculating eyes. Observer Kelsha, we brought a honey badger to a diplomatic negotiation. What do you think? The Torvan had no response to that. Behind them, Maverick carried the containment case, and inside, the honey badger slept peacefully, having done its part to secure humanity's future among the stars.